DJ LeMahieu's 2021 season left a lot to be desired. Whether you're a big fan of LeMahieu or you were closer to my camp where you really didn't think signing LeMahieu was the greatest idea in the world, um, you couldn't have said that you expected this out of him. I expected him to regress, but I didn't expect him to be, not that good and be kind of an average player. Was he an average player in Colorado? That's a that's something where it's like, you say, oh, well, his career WRC plus coming into 2021 was 100, so why did people expect anything different? But that's a disingenuous argument. But at the same time, to the people who said because he provides contact skills and a different, dynamic with kind of contrasting to the power guys in the Yankee lineup, that because of that, he's an extremely valuable hitter and arguably the best hitter on the team, you were also wrong. And I believe that you were wrong pretty evidently, because to ever say that Aaron Judge was worse than DJ LeMahieu was always a terrible take. It doesn't matter what point in time it was always a bad take. But I'm trying to kind of meet in the middle here because I think that's where most strong conclusions come from finding two extremes and then figuring out which side it leans towards and kind of finding a sort of middle ground because, again, most things aren't as simple as extremely this way or extremely that way. Is LeMahieu a terrible baseball player? Is LeMahieu an average baseball player? Is LeMahieu an MVP candidate? Or is LeMahieu a good player? These are all questions we're going to answer in today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy it very much. I'm Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees. You know where to follow me at Ryan Garcia ESM, and you know to check out Empire Sports Media for all of your New York sports content. With that being said, though, let's get into today's video.
That one's in deep to left field.
And Judge cashes in.
Got him. Oh, what a play.
Stanton forward again.
Here comes Wade. Here's the throw. He's safe.
If I could sum up LeMahieu's season in one word, it would be mediocre. He was a 100 WRC plus hitter, which is league average, posted a 349 on base percentage, which is actually above league average, a 362 slugging percentage, way below league average, and a 2.4 F-WAR and a 1.5 All-WAR. Roughly league average numbers. He just really wasn't that good of a player, and it was really disheartening to see him play so poorly, especially after getting that new contract and coming off of the highs of his 2019-2020 seasons. He was a dependable hitter that, regardless of how much you thought he was going to regress, you would assume that he would still at least be a productive hitter in this lineup. And there are two camps with LeMahieu. There's the LeMahieu is an elite hitter because he doesn't strike out, he makes contact, he's perfect for the lineup, he's a great mix, and the Yankees bringing him back was a no-brainer. And then there are the people who, didn't want LeMahieu back. I did not really want LeMahieu back. I thought he was going to get overpaid. And thought that he is a league average hitter. He is what his WRC plus in his career says he is, which is 100 WRC plus. And, I did agree with the idea that LeMahieu being brought back shouldn't be a no-brainer, you don't think about it kind of thing. It should be more of a, you have to pay him if the price is right, but if the price isn't right, there's no reason to pay him. And I thought $50 million was fair money for LeMahieu. But quite frankly, I don't agree with the idea that LeMahieu is a career 100 WRC plus hitter, and so he is a 100 WRC plus hitter. Using career metrics to say how good someone actually is in the present day when they've had such a long career is just disingenuous. It really doesn't reflect for how a player has progressed in their career. And LeMahieu is one of the biggest examples for that. If you look at LeMahieu's 2011 to 2016 and compare it to his 2017 to 2021, they're vastly different players. In 1,901 plate appearances from 2011 to 2016, he was a 76 WRC plus hitter with a 324 on base percentage and a 370 slugging percentage, accumulating a near 2.7 F-WAR. Think about that. In a mediocre year for LeMahieu this year with a 2.5 F-WAR, he was only 0.2 wins above replacement, worse than LeMahieu over 5 seasons. That's ridiculous. But for 2017 onwards, he had 3,448 plate appearances, a 114 WRC plus, a 371 on base percentage, a 451 slugging percentage, and a nice 18.8 F-WAR. He's a good player, and quite frankly, he's also a good hitter. He's just not a great hitter, and that's fine. For a guy who's being paid $50 million a year, I think a good, not great hitter with good defense that's exactly what you'd want for $50 million. I think that, honestly, the 2019-2021 season set the bar too high, and then the 2021 season set the bar too low for what you should expect from LeMahieu. And I think you kind of have to meet yourself somewhere in the middle. But what underlying metrics should even suggest that he's going to get better in 2022? Am I just kind of going based off of the fact that I'm a Yankees fan and I want him to do well because it benefits my team? Or is there actual data out there that suggests that he's going to be a better hitter next year and a productive player on the New York Yankees again? LeMahieu was better on a true talent level than his 100 WRC plus shows. He had a 106 deserved runs created plus, which is a baseball prospectus metric, a 338 expected weighted on base average, which was much better than his sub 320 weighted on base average. And his plate discipline improved dramatically from his 2019-2020 seasons to now. A 20.5% chase rate is his best mark as a Yankee. A 10.8% walk rate, again, his best mark as a Yankee. And quite frankly, while I do think that the balls won't be traveling the way they did in 2020, 2019, I also believe that the balls will travel better than they did in 2021 for LeMahieu, at least at home. And that should lead to LeMahieu being a better hitter. And even if he does put up these same batted ball splits and, the same walk rate and strikeout rate, everything's exactly the same, he should probably be around a 110 WRC plus hitter. So what the data points to is that LeMahieu's better than a league average hitter. But is he a great hitter? No, and that's okay. It's okay to not be an elite player. You don't need to be an elite player to be a good one. And his steer projections kind of line up with that philosophy. A 115 WRC plus, 354 on base percentage, 422 slugging percentage, 776 OPS, and 3.5 F4 are good, not great numbers. And not being great means you're not a top 20 to 25 player, and that's okay. You're cool with that. He's being paid $15 million. The Yankees would have had to shell out a Semien-like contract if they projected him to be like Marcus Semien, which is to consistently be an elite baseball player. There's a reason LeMahieu got the contract that he did, and Semien got the contract that he did, because LeMahieu isn't projected to remain an elite hitter. And I think the Yankees knew that the writing was on the wall that he would regress, and LeMahieu also understands he was going to regress, and other teams in baseball knew he would regress, and no one was going to offer him a lucrative deal. I think everyone needs to kind of just temper their expectations from 2019, 2020, while also taking into account that his 2020 season was him performing at below what his true talent level was for that year, and his true talent level is for the foreseeable future. I believe in LeMahieu to be a good baseball player next year, and I think you should as well. And I think we should all just kind of come more towards the middle in terms of our takes on LeMahieu and try to understand that baseball isn't just a world of having strong takes on a player, when some players can just kind of be good and not terrible or not elite. So with that being said, that'll wrap up today's video. I hope you guys like what you guys saw. I hope you guys like what I do. You remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Empire Sports Media for any New York sports content. Follow me at Ryan Garcia ESM, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ryan out.